Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is actually a super special week in my pregnancy because if you go back to my very first YouTube video, it's me doing a 26-week pregnancy update with my daughter who is now 2. And it's kind of just like this special kind of like feeling for me now that I'm on my second pregnancy to kind of be at this point now in my YouTube journey and just looking back on that and just how far I've come. It's amazing and it's so cool to see. It's a super embarrassing video because it's my first one, but I'm so glad that I did get a chance to document that part of my pregnancy with my daughter. So if you're new, my name is Bethany. Welcome to my channel. I am going to be talking about my 26-week pregnancy update today. And I did actually make a video on my second trimester must-haves or essentials. So I will link that up right here for you guys so you can check out some of the products that I've been really loving this pregnancy. And I find that now it's my second time around that I kind of know a little bit more of what works and what doesn't. Everyone's different, don't get me wrong, and some things that I love, you might not love, and that's okay. But make sure you do check out that video if you want to know what I've been really loving and what's really been helpful for me. So baby boy is now the size of a coconut. I don't usually have coconuts around, so I'm not really too sure how big that is, but he is about 14 inches in length and is weighing in at about 1.7 pounds. So he's definitely growing, getting bigger. It's just, you know, kind of realizing that yes, he is growing in there. So at this point, baby actually has fingernails, his eyelashes are growing in, and he is still practicing breathing that amniotic fluid in and practicing for breathing and things like that. Now he's actually been swallowing it and even having a couple of hiccups. At this point as well, your baby's eyes will be opening up where they can actually see some light through your uterus, through your tummy, which is actually really cool. So that's kind of a little update on how little baby boy is doing and his development. So my belly is measuring now at about 35 inches around, and it is feeling a little bit tighter. My belly button is now started to change. It's starting to kind of poke out a little bit more. I do have an innie belly button, but when I'm pregnant, it likes to stick out. And even this time around, since it had changed from my last pregnancy a little bit, it's starting to show a little bit sooner this time around. That's okay. That's just something that kind of happens with pregnancy. Your skin stretches, your belly button stretches, and so it kind of takes a different shape. I do find that when my belly is growing, it does get quite itchy because the skin is stretching, so I do try to keep as moisturized as possible. And I've just been using some lotion. I try to do it every day. I'm not very good at that. But when I do get really itchy, I will put on some lotion on there just to make sure it's moisturized, and then it definitely helps with the itchiness. One thing that I did get done this week was my glucose test, which screens for gestational diabetes. You kind of drink this weird sugary drink, and it's really not that bad. I don't think it is anyway. But I got that done, and I didn't get anything back. Like, I had no calls or anything, so I'm assuming everything is fine. So I'm just going to talk about a few of the symptoms that I've been having these past 2 weeks, because if you don't know, I do pregnancy updates every 2 weeks. I try to anyway. But basically, some of the symptoms I've been having is I've been experiencing heartburn a little bit more again, which is normal. It's not comfortable, but it happens. It's not constant, it's not every day, but it's every once in a while. If I eat something that my belly doesn't really agree with, it'll start to burn up this way a little bit. But yeah, it's not very fun. Again, like I said in my last pregnancy update, my dreams have become very, very vivid. Very vivid dreams, very lifelike, and I almost feel like when I do sleep, I'm not fully resting because they're so real, and I feel like they're real life, and I'll actually wake up in the night from my dreams, almost believe that they're real, and so I've actually woken up my husband and be like, are you okay? Because something happened in my dream where something happened to him, and then he's just like, what? Go back to sleep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, everything's okay. But these dreams are getting so real, so vivid. I had this kind of, at the beginning of my pregnancy a lot more, but now it's starting up again, which is kind of like, I just want to have a peaceful sleep because I'm tired. So like I said, baby is definitely moving around in there. I have been feeling some hiccups, which is cool, just to know that baby is practicing breathing and swallowing that amniotic fluid so that their lungs can develop properly, so they can practice kind of breathing in the womb before they come out. The kicks are not as fluttery and not as soft or cute anymore. They're so uncomfortable sometimes. There's been points where I have actually gasped. They've actually taken my breath away because they've been so strong, and they become quite painful sometimes, which is a good thing. I want my baby to be moving. That gives me comfort, but it also hurts sometimes. And that will just continue until the baby is born. So we are now getting into that third trimester where things get a little bit more uncomfortable every single day. Another thing that's been going on is that I have become very, very gassy. No matter what I eat, no matter how much I eat, I am just constantly gassy. It's just wonderful. It's terrible because it's like uncontrollable. There's nothing you can really do about it, and it is slightly embarrassing. But if you've been pregnant or are pregnant, you know that this is definitely a thing. It's just something we all have to deal with. So one thing that I actually never did with my daughter was go to the chiropractor when I was pregnant. I did go after I was pregnant with her, and it really helped my back because as your center of gravity is changing, your back needs to compensate for that extra weight. I am gonna hopefully be going to the chiropractor soon. I don't want to go too early before I give birth because I definitely want to make sure that it is kind of closer to my due date, just so then it can kind of like align my spine and get me ready for labor. Waiting a little bit longer, but I am planning on doing that. And I think it's something that is really important if you are pregnant or after you've had a baby. I never used to be a believer of chiropractors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all they do is just like crack your bones and it really hurts. And my chiropractor actually doesn't even crack your bones with their hands. They actually just use an instrument that actually just puts your spine back into place, which is really gentle and not invasive at all. So that's really nice. And I'm not, that kind of freaked me out at first, but I was glad to know that they don't just really refine your body or anything like that. One last thing that I just wanted to talk about with you guys is I have actually started a baby registry on Amazon. I will link this down below for you guys. It's just some things that I have put on there that I find will make me a little bit more prepared for when baby comes. So if you do want to go check it out, make sure you do that. I will have the link down below for you guys, and I'm really excited to kind of start one because a few of you have been asking if I even have one. So I was like, oh, well, might as well just start one and see what happens. Another thing is that I'm thinking about starting a PO box. So if that's something that you're interested in, or if you would like to participate in that, let me know in the comments down below. I definitely want to hear you guys' feedback on this to see if it would be worthwhile for me to do something like that. So again, let me know in the comments below, you guys, and yeah, we'll go from there. So that kind of wraps up this 26 pregnancy update video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope that it was relatable in some way on your own pregnancy journey if you're pregnant or are just curious about pregnancy in general. Make sure you do subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys in my next video.